Hivin and Vibin with Dr. Bibi.
Today I have with me Janet Tanguay. Ja- Janet, did I pronounce your name correctly?
Absolutely, yes. That's a great pronunciation. Yes.
Perfect. Okay. So Janet Tanguay is the CEO of Hammock Way of Life. So we have to ask questions on Hammock Way of Life. I really want to know what that does. A business advisory and a vision board coaching certification and training company. Tanguay helps people to find their higher purpose and navigate important life transitions, career, business life. Oh, that covers such a lot of things at once. You must be a genius trying to do so much together. She is also an author, an artist, a record label owner, and runs a creative mastermind group on Facebook. There's a whole lot of questions that's already coming in my head. Fine, then. Let's begin, Janet, with asking you what is your mantra?
What is my mantra? So thank you for the invite. I really appreciate you inviting me here today. My mantra for many years has been leap and the hammock will appear. And I was thinking about other ways that I could explain that mantra to you. And some of the other things I came up with were risk is the rhythm of growth. My intuition is my parachute. I am the net. I leap with faith and life catches me. And the unknown is not empty, it's full of possibility. So that's kind of what leap in the hammock will appear means to me.
Oh, lovely. So you're talking about leap and the hammock appears, which means you're talking about faith.
Yes. Mhm.
You're in a way
Yeah.
talking about
Trust.
trust.
Mhm. Yes.
Ah, these are very, very strong. I don't think they're just words, they're strong emotions in today's business life, which is slowly and steadily, disappearing. We
Mhm.
don't see a lot of trust in each other. We don't see a lot of faith in each other.
Right.
I am going to ask you about how uh, can I do a deep dive straight into asking you how do you work with people, with your clients on um building their trust?
Yeah, yeah. So that's a great question, and I'm sort of learning that as I go internationally now, right? My local clients trust me. I'm in New York, and my New York clients trust me. That's sort of the whole. There's a lot of people in New York that I know now, but as I'm branching out, you're right. How do they know me? And the way I do that is I trust my gut. When you feel like something's not quite right in your belly, right? Or you get chills, right? You get chills or something like that. I just trust the small shifts that my body feels when either I'm connecting with someone, and you can tell, when you speak to somebody if your values are aligned around the same things, and that's sort of how I vet people. If they're not a fit, they're not a fit, and people can, do their own thing, but when we talk about different things, I can sort of tell if my values are aligned, and that's my North Star. My values are my North Star. So at any time that I shift away from those things, I go back to my values and my North Star and say, is this right for me? And either my body will tell me, my mind will tell me, I'll get a sign of some sort, and I'll be able to trust that intuition. So that's how I do it.
Whoa. Okay. So you are expanding internationally.
I am.
Fantastic. Let's start from the beginning. When
Okay.
did you decide that you are going to be a coach?
Yes, that's a great question. So I found my passion. I took an expressive arts course in probably 20 years ago. And what that taught me at that time, I was sort of a perfectionist. I wanted things perfect and in my art and in music and anything, right? I just wanted things to be perfect. And there's no such thing as perfection. And so what that taught me was that if you let go of that idealism, that you can really move forward. And so it really helped me to move forward. I ended up working at a chamber of commerce and running an entrepreneur boot camp. And I was watching all these other people take risks, leave jobs, do things like that, and I loved coaching them. I loved coaching early stage launch businesses, launching businesses. And it really, to me, resonated with me. And I knew I'd found my passion. So I knew whatever it was I did next, I wanted to do that. And then what I started realizing was I especially loved working with creative businesses around coaching, whether that was food-based creativity or artists or all sorts of things. So I'm sort of a serial entrepreneur. I've launched several businesses over my lifetime. I had an art business where um, I help people get into galleries and private collections and coach them on the business of art. Did that for a while, and I did some branding work and marketing work for a while. But the Hammock Way of Life was really when I leapt into full-time coaching.
And how did you decide that the Hammock Way of Life is going to be the name of your company?
That's a great question, right? So two reasons. So when I was teaching the class, a lot of times we would have guest instructors come in and teach something like financials or something like that. And I would be sitting at the table, and when we went around the room to do the elevator pitches, I would be called on to do a pitch, right? And I was already teaching, and so so the joke in the class sort of became, I want to be in a hammock in the next 5 years. And so someone said you should start a business called the Hammock Way of Life. And then I found out that 98% of people die with unfulfilled dreams. And I really wanted to flip that script. So my dream is to be in a hammock more often, and I help people live whatever their dreams are. So that's sort of how I named it. And it's resonated with people. People understand what it means. Being in a hammock doesn't mean laziness. It means you're relaxing, taking care of yourself, refreshing, so that you do have the energy to help other people.
Lovely. Yes, I do agree with you. The first time, you spoke about the hammock way of life, to me, the imagery in my head was a hammock, and I was lying in it, with a stream running by me and a hillside, by the hillside, and a lot of green and trees and all that. So
Yeah,
yes, it does give me that it does connect. Yes, that's
absolutely. Yeah,
exactly what happens. Yes.
sure.
So let's talk about, you spoke about the vision board
Mhm.
coaching. So let's talk about that a little more.
Absolutely. Actually, you just gave a beautiful image of what I would do as somebody when I'm visualizing, right? So a lot of times when you're starting with people coaching about starting a business or a career, people are visualizing what that dream is, right? You just visualized a dream of being in a hammock, right? So vision boarding is taking that image that's in your head and putting it on paper. I usually have people start out by journaling, and then we use and it can be digital, it can be on Canva or Pinterest or something like that. Mural, or it can be on with scissors and glue sticks, right? It can be that way as well, using magazines, using your own images that you print out, different things. I happen to like using magazines because it gets people out of their heads. They don't come into it with preconceived knowledge. They can sort of go through it and pick out what images that they love and all of that, and then maybe find people that they admire in the images and all of that. But it's really creating a roadmap to what you want your dreams to be, whether it be around love or travel or vacation or business or any sort of thing, right? So can do them with lots of dreams on the board. Could be fitness, could be a lot of things, and or we can do it, just one aspect of that. So and it's really, people love doing it. So yeah.
Hmm. And how does this tie in with your business advisory, or is it parallel?
It does, because I typically what happens to a lot of people that want to start businesses is that they have a lot of ideas. They have, I want to do this and I want to do this, and then they see a shiny object and they want to go do that, or they see someone else doing something, right? It's a common phenomenon among entrepreneurs that there's just a lot of great ideas coming in, but then they don't really know what they want to focus on. So a vision board helps them focus. If they do 5 vision boards, we sometimes see, oh, this is the one that really resonates you because it has the most vibrant colors, or it has the most words on it or something. So I might do multiple vision boards for somebody who's really struggling on, should I choose this path or this path? So it really does come into the business advising often.
So it is tied in. And what you said is so correct. Being an entrepreneur myself, I understand the absolute, I totally
Yes.
relate to the fact that you have 5 or 6 ideas running in your head, and you want to do that and you want to do this, and which is so, so true.
Yes.
But let's talk a little more about yourself.
Yes.
Let me ask you how I find that you have and like I introduced you as an author. So could you tell me more about how did you start writing?
Yes. So I do wear a lot of creative hats, and that's really the hat. People say, "Oh, you're doing so many things," but it all revolves around creativity. If you look at I have one big creative hat with lots of different things in it, right? So I started out because my brother and sister had children. I had nieces and nephews, and I wanted to give them something special. So I wrote a children's book, and it was about nicknames. My father used to nickname all of us, and myself included, and Buttercup was his nickname for me. And so I wrote a book on nicknames for my nieces and nephews. And when I called it Dust Bunnies Don't Eat Carrots, Dust Bunnies is a nickname that you give those dust bunnies under beds. It took off. People really love the whole Dust Bunnies Don't Eat Carrots concept. So that was my first children's book. And I made mistakes. I was a first time self-published author, and I did the book saddle stitched from a printer. And saddle stitch means it sits on a bookshelf and it has staples and you can't see the binding, right? So I learned lessons there. And it was just for my nieces and nephews, so I didn't think it was going to become popular. So when it became popular, I was surprised. And so then I decided to publish the book a little bit more professionally. I went through Amazon at the time. I think it was called Book Surge. They changed the title of the several times, and they guide you through the whole thing. And my second book is called BE and then BEE. It's about being who you want to be when you grow up, kind of, letting go of a job and into creativity. So it's a bumblebee's path toward being who she wants to be when she grows up. So those are two books. And then the other series of books is a book on how to do business in New York State. Those are books on how to write a business plan, business model canvas. There's something in New York State called Minority and Women Business Enterprise Certification, so a book on that, and one on just free and pro bono resources that I found over the years for small business owners. So there's three, and those are all on Amazon. And I have another book in the works. It's a part memoir and part business book. It's about some stories from my life, which I can't get into now, but it's coming soon. I might tell one story today, but so yeah, just different things that have
Yes,
happened to
yes,
me that
please
have changed
share,
my
please
path.
share. Please,
Yeah.
please give us a taste of what's coming.
A taste of what's coming. Okay, so this is about let's see, it's vulnerability, right? So and sort of what led me down the path to art, right? We talked about art a little bit. So my senior year in college, I had one course to go, and I thought I wanted to take something that was going to be easy because I just wanted to get to graduation. I'd taken all the courses that I needed to graduate. So I looked at some different courses, wine tasting, and you have to memorize every region in all the world. That seemed hard. So anyway, I ended up in a studio art class, but I was not a studio art major. So I was with a lot of people who had been studio art majors for the entire time. And somehow I got into this class, and it was a three-dimensional design class where you had to design something out of a 2x4. You had to take a 2x4 and then, without using nails, design different things. And so our first assignment was to design a box, not just a box, right? Box with no nails, just the box out of this 2x4. So I had four sides. I had a lovely lid, right? The lid came off, and I was so proud of my box, right? So we had to bring them into class covered up, and they're all covered up under here. And the first person to show it was one of the studio art majors, and she gets up in front of the room, and her box lights up. It has drawers that pull out. It was shaped like the Eiffel Tower. It was the most amazing box that I'd ever seen in my whole life, right? Wow. It was a wow factor, right? So already I'm like, oh my goodness, I have this box. So I go up and I get my box. It just is a simple box. It has four sides and a lid, right? That is all that it is. And so I go up to talk about it, and my box nicked the side of the table and fell apart. Yeah. So I again pick it up, talk about my box, humiliated, bring it back, cover it up. Everyone did these lovely boxes. I had to, sit there after and listen to all these other stories about and see these beautiful pieces of work. So I thought I had failed. If I had failed this class, I'm also probably going to not graduate, right? So I got my grades, and back then there was no internet, so I'm older. So we got our grades in the mail, and I opened up the envelope, and I got an A, and I could not understand why. And when I went to talk to the professor, he said, it's because it takes a lot of vulnerability to be an artist, and you didn't run out of the room crying. You're going to be a great artist, and get out of here before I change my mind. So, so
That was definitely
it was
important. Get
pivotal.
out
It
of
was a
it.
pivotal moment in my life. And so, so that's one of the stories I tell in my book that you get a
Oh,
sneak preview to.
lovely.
Yeah.
Okay, okay.
Thank you
I
for
get
allowing me to
it. I
share.
get
Yeah.
it. So this book I think is going to be very interesting because it is going to be filled with so many stories of
Yes.
your personal experiences and pivotal moments, which you are then going to,
Yes.
which
Thank
is
you. Thank
going
you
to
for
be
allowing me to share.
learning for
Yes.
us. Yes. Okay, now let's talk about you being an artist. So you paint.
I do. I do.
Okay.
I'm a mixed media artist. So
Okay.
yeah, so I use broken musical instrument parts in my work. And the way I was led to that was that visiting businesses. I had visited a music store one time that was going out of business, and he was looking to maybe sell it. And I went downstairs in the basement, and there were all these broken musical instrument parts there. And I said, what happens to these? Do you repair them? And he said, no, this is just kind of where they go to die. If I need a part for an instrument, I'll come down here and get the part. But there were some that looked pretty good, and I felt bad for them that they were down in this basement doing nothing. And so I said, I think I need to figure out a way to bring these musical instruments back to life. So he sold me a few of the pieces of a violin and a flute and all sorts of instruments, and then I started creating art out of them, and it resonated with other people. So I create work with musical instruments.
So that must be huge, huge ones. I mean, your
Yes.
canvas must be pretty big. I mean, it must be in.
Sometimes they're big. Sometimes I put pieces in it. So somebody gave me a gift. Another artist one time gifted me the guts of a piano. And so that's
Okay.
pretty big, right? And so,
Yeah.
but I realized within the piano guts are keypads, and they kind of
Mhm.
look like feathers. So I created a peacock that has these keypads that look like um, peacock feathers, right? So it's piano keypads, but they became and then a ukulele neck became the neck, and I put in guitar picks and strings, and so all sorts of things. So sometimes it can be huge, and other times I can work the smaller pieces of an instrument into the piece.
Wow. This is very interesting. And I mean, are they, do you hold exhibitions or things like that for them?
I did for a long time, and I have a few pieces left. I haven't, because I've been so busy coaching. This is the challenge with coaching, right? So I'm so busy trying to make other people's dreams come true that I don't focus on it as much. But I do have about I don't know, maybe a dozen pieces left in my inventory, and that but I haven't put them out in a while. I was thinking about it the other day to have a show again would be sort of interesting, because I've evolved, and to see if maybe a new generation is interested in this art. So yeah,
Right. Yeah,
yeah,
that's exactly, if you have 12 pieces, that should be enough to
yeah,
have a show. It's
absolutely,
enough
yeah.
to have it. It's just about enough to have a show,
It
12
is.
pieces would be. Yeah,
Yeah,
so that would
absolutely.
be lovely.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And you also sing
No, actually,
or or music.
that's a great, I love to put people together. So when I say that I created a song, my friend Bob knew that I wanted to write music, so I wrote the lyrics, and he helped me, Bob Frederick, put it all together, and then we had Jaya Rael was the singer. She's at the time she was 18 years old, and just a beautiful, beautiful voice. And she helped us create the final pieces of the song to really make it. It's called "Smell the Rain." And my music name and my art name is Jazzy Jan, and that's how you find me on LinkedIn as well. And so anyway, it's on Spotify, and that's how you can find us. So the three of us created that particular song, and now I'm working on another one with a whole series of different musicians. So yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah, so you're still working on your music.
Yes, yes, but I don't
And
sing. I took piano lessons when I was younger, but I don't really. I rely on other musicians to kind of bring my vision to life. So yeah.
okay, so you actually write the lyrics.
Yes, yes,
Okay, so you're a songwriter.
yes. That's a better way to do it.
Lovely.
I put I don't know if you know her, but Diane Warren is one of my heroes. She has written a lot of songs for a lot of musicians, anyway, she's kind of in the background of a lot of famous, really famous, well-known songs. And so I'm kind of aspiring to be her. So, yeah.
But that's lovely. I mean, who can just think of, that uh, I'm not talking to a coach today. I'm talking to a multifaceted individual. It's not just a coach. And this kind of a person, a multifaceted person, makes an amazing coach, as far as I know.
Thank you.
Because you bring in your learnings and your experiences from your various fields, and then you bring it together. I myself paint.
Oh,
I
great.
do oils. I only do
Wow.
oils.
Great.
So
I'd love to see it. Yeah.
oh, I have not painted for years, I think.
Ah,
It takes me a lot of time to get one out, and after I get that out, I really have to sit on it for some time. It's like being pregnant for 9 months and then
yeah.
getting one out.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what it's
So,
interesting. That's what someone told me early on is that at some point you have to be finished with any creative project, with a book, with you can keep going and going and going, but when does it end and when is it sort of ready for the public in your mind, right? It can't, again, it's that perfectionism thing. You can't wait for it to be just perfect. You have to just get it out there and stop at some point. So
yeah,
yeah.
exactly. I think that's very important, that to make your clients understand that as a coach, or from one coach to another, it's very important to make the clients understand that that's what it is. Now move on.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Perfectionism doesn't happen in one day or in one piece of work. You just have to move on to the next one, and then it'll happen one day. So you just have to
Exactly.
keep going. That's it.
Yes.
So tell me more about Creative Mastermind.
Yeah, so when I left my position at the chamber, people wanted a way to stay in touch with me. So I started at that time it's still called that, an entrepreneur meetup group, but it's become a creative mastermind because I know so many creative people where it's more of a creative mastermind group than an entrepreneur meetup, although there's still quite a few entrepreneurs in there. So, but we have fashion designers, college professors, people that are doing art and music and web design. And so it's really a lot of different people who just come together and it's a different sort of group. It's not real sales and marketing type. It's we help each other make connections. We actually had a conference one year. It was called Creative Fusion, and so it was a combination of film, improvisational acting, music, food as art, just brought together a bunch of creative people into a really beautiful creative space at one of the college, Union College, close by. And so, yeah, so it was great.
Mm.
So yeah, so it's bringing together a lot of creative minds just to talk about. We have a play date where we just play sometimes and all sorts of things, and so it's sort of fun just to get out of that work mode into something creative.
Yep, yep. Wow. And how do you get time for all of these things?
I don't, well, I don't have children, so that's part of it. I have lovely nieces and nephews that I adore who also have kids. I love my, family, but I think that's part of it is that I know people spend a lot of time with their children. So I think making creative space. I call my entrepreneurs, those are like my children. I watch them grow and I nurture them and all of that. So that's been my heart over the years. So yeah.
5:53 p.m.
Oh, it is 5:53
It
p.m.
is.
for
My
you.
watch talks to me sometimes, and I don't know why.
That's lovely. That's just lovely. So, you spoke about expanding your coaching practice.
I am. Yeah.
And you also spoke about, that there are challenges. I know as a coach, I have a challenge, generating leads for me is a major challenge. And what are your challenges?
Yeah, so we talked about trust earlier and how I'm very trusted in my own community and beyond that regionally and statewide. But as I expand internationally, especially, I'm meeting people for the first time and I mean, I send them to my recommendations. I have lots of recommendations and testimonials and things like that. But it's a two-way street. It's a matter of us trusting each other and the work that we do. And so my goal, especially with the vision board coaching, one of the aspects of my business that has really taken off, and it was sort of a surprise after the vision boarding came together, is that I'm going out and teaching vision boarding still, but I need help sometimes. So it might be a huge group of people. I think the biggest one we've done is around 100, and I need other coaches to come on board to help me with that piece of it. So I decided to train people in my methodology of vision boarding. And um, so I'm bringing on coaches internationally. And so right now we have, I think there's up on the website, there's 30, and by the end of the year, it'll be 50. And we're hoping to be in 25 countries and every state in the United States soon. And just keep going from there. So that's our goal, and it's working. Yesterday we just trained two people, one from the UK and one from South Africa, so they're coming on board. And we have somebody in Canada and Mexico. But that trust factor is how do I continue to try to to have trust in these people that I'm meeting virtually, right? So we're thinking about having a conference and bringing people here so that we can all meet in person and everybody gets to show the kind of coaching that they do and all of that. So, but I like connecting people and bringing people together, and that sometimes builds trust.
Fine. Yeah. So I can see that you're actually building up something which is going to be there even when maybe you are not there.
Yes,
You're building something. So this is your legacy that
absolutely.
you're
Yes.
building.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, it
Yeah.
is. In fact, it's sort of working because this particular week, we're moving my mom from Vermont, the state of Vermont, to the state of New Hampshire, and I have other people that are running the creative mastermind group, and to me, that is beautiful because they love it enough where they want to keep it going, even if in my absence, and yeah, absolutely. I'm training other people to do what I do, and I hope it lives long after I'm gone because I really believe in the power of visioning and vision boarding. So, absolutely, yes. And I consider myself a cheerleader and a champion, and but I'm also I'm not one of those loud cheerleaders and champions. I'm more of a business whisperer, right? Or a vision whisperer, right? I do things quietly, but I see that they have things happen in a powerful way, and I'm here for people to lean on when so I can kind of push them back out there, right? When they have questions or thoughts or, things like that.
Okay, so what is the lasting impact you leave on your team?
Um, just to be open to dialogue and learning about other people. I have a love of learning and I'm constantly learning and sometimes I started out with one theory or idea and it's really evolved. And so I want other people to evolve in the same way. And so I think and understanding that people communicate in different ways, right? So I love it when I can really use all of my expressive arts tools like dance and music and art and all that because people express themselves differently. Some listen, some like things tactile things, and so the beauty of the arts in that legacy sort of is that people can um, express themselves in a multitude of ways.
Hmm. And what is one consistent, uh, I don't know, consistent coaching or advice or principle that you have been sharing with your clients?
Sure. um, I think one of the things, and I had suffered from this early on in my career, I guess, is that I love to say yes. The improvisational actors call it say yes and, right? Say yes to a lot of things. Sure, I'll do that. Yes, I'll do that. Yes, 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 right? I don't like to say no. And however, I think that there is, and this is the lesson, power in the pause. I think sometimes when you're constantly saying yes, you don't step back and see the big picture or just pause in a lot of things, right? And someone told me one time what she worked in development for a foundation that had to raise money, and she said when she makes an ask of a donor and they look like they're thinking, she doesn't step in with sometimes when there is a pause, people try to fill that with words. And what she does is she asks for the money and then she takes a sip of water slowly and then she puts it down. And in that pause, they oftentimes say yes. They say yes, right? And so in anything, I think there is power in the pause, just in a lot of things. Just take time to think about what you're doing and not rush into things or feel like you have to fill that space with something.
Uh-huh.
sort of speaks of a hammock, being in a hammock.
Yes, it all circles back to the hammock.
Yes,
Yes,
it does.
absolutely. It circles back to the hammock. But actually, if you don't always have to look at it from a real hammock, just think of it, if I'm like for me, being on a being, I don't know, on a hammock, in a hammock, how would you say it? In a hammock,
Mhm.
would be actually painting for me.
Yes, yes, yes,
So on the
yes,
days I'm painting, I'm actually in a hammock.
yes,
So,
yes.
you know, so
So I
I
need to
think,
send you a
yep.
t-shirt, my friend, because I created a line of t-shirts it with people in a hammock, right? And some of them are doing all sorts of things. Some of them are on their computer, but some of them are singing. I have a singing hammock one, and I have a idea bubble coming up above the head, and so lots of different things. People doing different things in hammocks, working out and reading and all sorts of different things. So yeah, so you're
Yep,
right, you're spot
exactly.
on. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly. I think hammock can be what, where you feel relaxed
Yes,
and where you feel rejuvenated. That is what hammock is all about.
it's a metaphor. Yeah, yeah,
Yes. And how do you want my listeners and my audience to connect with you?
yeah. So my website is called hammock.wayoflife.com, HAMMOCK wayoflife.com. I'm on LinkedIn as Jazzy Jan, and without the glasses is my profile. And TikTok, I'm Jazzy Jan CEO. Um, where else can I get connect with me? And the Entrepreneur Meetup group, EMU Entrepreneur Meetup. So any one of those ways is perfectly fine. But I would love to connect with your listeners, and I'm delighted to meet you and hear what you're up to, and I hope that we stay connected as well.
Fantastic. One last question. When you were, because today you're doing a lot more and you're actually leading your people. So I'll ask you a leader's question,
Sure.
and that is, when you were young, when you were, say, a 10-year-old, 10-year-old girl, and did you ever envision that you would be leading the huge work that you're leading now?
That's a great question. So I am the oldest of three kids. I have a younger brother and a younger sister, and I was sort of bossy when I was younger. My sister is now the boss of me. She's the youngest, and she's more the boss of me. But when I was little, my sister told me about this red jacket that I had, and it was our play jacket. And so I would be the only one to wear the red jacket, and I was sometimes a teacher. Most times I was a teacher, I think, and sometimes a waiter. I don't know. I was all sorts of characters in this red jacket, and she aspired to wear the red jacket, and so I gave her the red jacket. But in the third grade, I had a great third grade teacher, and I think teachers are so important and so powerful at that young age, I will say. So they empowered me to be confident at a very young age, and I'm so blessed to have gone to school where I went to school. But we had three options of things we wanted to do, and I picked that I wanted to be an FBI agent, a banker, um, and a work in radio, like a radio DJ, right? So those things have kind of I went through the FBI Citizens Academy once. I worked in banking for 4 days, and you'll have to read my upcoming book to find out why it was only for 4 days. There's a story there as well, Maya. And then a DJ is sort of related to. I did work in radio for a while, and of course the music now. But I think those early days are so important, and to visualize what you want to be and who you want to be. I don't think running a company was in my head at that point, but certainly those layers of dreams sort of have come true. So in different ways, be careful what you wish for.
Yeah. Lovely. And with this, I thank you very much, Janet, for being, for coming to this Hivin and Vibin with Dr. Bibi. And I am ever grateful to you for being patiently waiting for me. And
It's all good. I hope you feel that as well. Yeah.
and I'm putting it on record that
Yeah.
you were waiting for me. And thank you very much for your patience
Welcome. Yeah.
and for sharing your insights and your experiences. I think there's a whole depth of knowledge and wisdom there, which I'm sure will empower my audience and my listeners. Thank you again for your wisdom.
Thank you. I'm grateful for knowing you. So yeah, thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much.